Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. It's officially 2024. Um, I'm jumping on here a little bit earlier today. And yes, welcome if you're new here. My name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. And if you are a returning viewer, if you are a returning subscriber of the channel, welcome back. We're going to be talking about the month of January. As you can probably tell, I'm not really feeling the best. I may very well mute this video if I feel like I need to cough. It's just coming out of this horrible flu, which sort of took over a couple of days before Christmas. Both me and my partner got it, so it has not been the best Christmas time for us, personally speaking. But I hope you have had a lovely Christmas if you celebrate it. I hope the holiday season was fun and festive for many of you. I hope as well that you were able to rest, right? Because that's definitely something to do over the holiday season is rest, recharge. And Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year. And happy Mercury direct, happy Jupiter direct as well. Um, hello, Deep Shikya. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Oh, you said to drink hot chocolate. I might have a hot chocolate after this, actually, now that you mention it. Thank you so much. TBKO, you said everybody got pretty sick. You were as well. Oh, well, I hope that you're feeling a lot better now. And yeah, so it does seem to be that way. Um, no need to mute a cough. Doesn't take away our love. Oh, it's so tickly, those types of like chesty coughs that you get, and then it's a really dry cough as well. But anyway, as you were saying there, a lot of people seem to have gotten sick. I'm just glad that I'm starting to come out of it. You know what I mean? Right. Oh, hi Danielle. Hello. And just welcome everyone coming in. Hi Jeff. And hi Alexander, of course. But yeah, let's get into January. Happy New Year, everyone. It's still cold. Well, at least it is here in Northern Ireland. It's very cold. Okay. So just to let you know that the astrology calendar for 2024 is available. There's also all types of astrology products available over at Hannah's Elsewhere. And there's the calendar there. If you sign up via Patreon, you're going to get it for a little bit cheaper. But all that information is there. And then just to inform you and to remind you about Patreon, I just want to say thank you so much to my patrons over there for all of your support. So if you do want extra astrology content early, PDF guides, daily forecasts, head on over to Patreon. All the links will be in the description box. Hello, Kat. Happy New Year to you. Welcome. Okay, so here is a list of the important dates. Basically, I want to try and go in a little bit of a different direction with the overview. And I just want to say with January that January is going to be a very Saturn ruled month. Let's just say that, because we have this stellium gathering in the sign of Capricorn. So basically, a cluster of planets gathering inside the sign of Capricorn. On top of that, we have a new moon in Capricorn happening on the 11th. So we're going to be, kickstarting 2024 with an awesome new moon in Capricorn, whilst Mars is there as well. So I think that this new moon in the next 10, 11 days or so, I think it's really going to be like a good kickstart, or it's going to be a good opportunity for us to set new intentions then when it comes to our long-term goals and things. And we had the opportunity to reassess our long-term goals and our long-term plans whilst Mercury was retrograde there. especially in the sign of Capricorn from around the 13th of December to the 23rd of December. And so what we also see here is Mercury re-entering Capricorn by the 13th of January. So yeah, think and consider what came up for you within your Capricorn house. But like I said, there's a lot of Saturnian energy. I mean, we're also going to be entering Aquarius season right after Capricorn season. And then Pluto is going to re enter Aquarius as well around the 20th. So there'll actually be a Pluto Cazimi happening. So it really is a time to reinvent ourselves this month. My goodness, I need it. I need it. And we also see here that there will be the full moon in Leo on the 25th of January. And Uranus will also turn direct in Taurus. So all the planets will be direct by the 27th, right at the end of the month. We also have there Jupiter, or my apologies, Juno retrograde will start in the sign of Virgo from the 12th of January. So I think that that's going to be a good opportunity for us to reassess our commitments and our meaningful relationships there. So yeah, we're not really going to be diving too much into Juno today, but I just wanted to let you know about that transit that is coming up. Hello, Winnie. Welcome. Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Thank you. Brianna, hi, hello, hello, hello. Victoria, hello. Yes, wishing you an amazing, healthy, successful 2024. Happy New Year. And yeah, Jeff, you said it's a great schedule. Yeah, I agree. I really like the way the planets are moving throughout January. I think it's really pointing toward like new hope, and quite fitting because Mercury direct, right? So that's what you said. Hooray. Yeah. Mercury has stationed to turn direct today. So this will be from 22 degrees in Sagittarius. So Mercury will be direct then in Sagittarius from the 1st of January to the 13th. So really consider then what came up for you whilst Mercury was retrograde from the 13th of December until the 1st of January. Really look to your Sagittarius house, your Capricorn house. I do have a video about these shifts available on my YouTube channel. You can check that video out. So there's just quick horoscopes there available for you. But just to give a brief sort of overview of this, I think that this is going to point toward us moving forward with our aspirations and our long-term goals. This really was an opportunity for us to reassess these areas for ourselves, and I think as well, reassessing, what is like realistic and practical versus what is more idealistic and is more of a vision. And these things can go hand in hand, right? I always think of how Sagittarius, it looks at inspiration and it looks at that sort of dream and that vision, but then Capricorn drives it home. Capricorn brings the dream to life. Capricorn says, okay, Sagittarius, you have all of these sort of big, wider ideas, and you have all of this like enthusiasm, this spark, right? There's always some sort of creative like project that Sagittarians are working on. They're always shooting their bow and arrow at something target, at that target. But whilst all this is happening, Capricorn is saying, okay, we see that you have that. That's great. But how about you also show commitment and you also persevere with that? And I also think be disciplined. Okay. So from the 1st of January to the 13th of January, this is about our windows of opportunity. This is especially looking at windows of opportunity based on what we reassessed and reviewed over the past few weeks. And then as Mercury does start to re-enter Capricorn throughout the month, there's also going to be this furthering of these things, okay? And then, like I said, bringing them to life, and also being committed. And then there's also, I think, resilience in this. I think coming toward the end of the year, many of us are realizing just how resilient we are and just how much, overcoming adversity can really help shape us and improve us as humans. Life is not easy much of the time, especially for people who are very strongly Saturn ruled, like myself. um, but I always like to hope that such things build character, such experiences shape us and really support us in ways, maybe in ways that you don't realize at the time, but then in hindsight you do. Now, Mercury will also trine the North Node in Aries as well. So I think that from now until the 13th of January, good opportunity to really think about, what are your goals, even your personal goals with the North Node in Aries. And it's also about being motivated, being driven, being pioneers, being leaders in this way. Now, the only thing I want to say with this, however, is we have been noticing all these squares between Sagittarius placements and then Neptune and Pisces over the past while. I need to slow down because I feel like I'm about to cough. I don't want to get into a coughing fit. It's not fun. It's not fun. But yes, we've been noticing this the past while, especially with Mars making that square to Neptune. It's still making a square to Neptune right now. So it's kind of interesting with Mercury retrograde plus Mars square Neptune over the past while, like, and then how things have aligned with being sleepy, no energy, not really wanting to go out so much, wanting to stay in. People getting sick. Who you were saying there, people are getting ill, and yeah, just not really having the most energetic like energy levels. And I think a lot of this as well is to do with, our vitality and our health, right? Our health, our physical body. But you see, Mercury square Neptune is going to further activate, more of this like mental uncertainty and confusion a little bit. But I also think that this gives us an opportunity to imagine and dream, and to indulge in the fantasy world a little bit. Happy New Year, Henry. Hello. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think, Jeff, you were saying there, perhaps it is a good opportunity in that way, especially with Capricorn energy coming in. Okay, so Mars is going to be moving signs. Yay, I'm about to experience my Mars return. I need it. I need it. I have not experienced a Mars return in 2 years, because we had that Mars retrograde in Gemini last year. But anyway, well, technically 2 years ago now because it happened around October 2022. So, anyway, Mars will enter Capricorn. So, this will be from the 4th of January until the 13th of February. So, we'll just run through a few of the aspects throughout January, but this is great building energy, okay? This is about success. This is about authority. This is about being leaders, but respectable leaders, okay? Being the types of leaders that are well known within our area of expertise. And this is also about focus. Mars in Capricorn is exalted, so meaning that Mars tends to perform really well in Capricorn. There's control, there's discipline, and there's responsibility, and there's the ability to learn from one's mistakes and errors and failures and setbacks. And there's also the ability to overcome setbacks and failures, even though it may not seem like it at the time. It's very much about the future. You think about Capricorn energy, Aquarius energy, just try to imagine Capricorn and Aquarius as like, they're more in the distant future. They're not really so active, I suppose you could say, whenever you're really young. These energies, of course, they're still available there. Do you know what I mean? But it's more about reaping the rewards um, tied to these signs much later on in life. And it's also about maturity. and growth. These signs are very much about maturity and growth. Saturn is that timely, wise planet, I suppose you could say. You could say that. And so you reap what you sow when it comes to Saturn. So in that way, I think it does depend on what you what you put into something in terms of, okay, so what are you going to get out of it? Yeah, it depends on what you do. It depends on the actions that you make. It's karma, right? It's very much about karma. So I think Mars being in Capricorn is going to point toward our karma, then, our karma and how it relates to our goals, and how it relates to action and drive. Now, in this way, there's this reaching the top of the mountain quality with Mars in Capricorn. We will want to win, okay? We want to win at our version of success. And there's also a great deal of reliability in this way. And it's important, I think, to be reliable when it comes to this energy. It's important to really be cautious of what types of actions you make. And it's important as well, I think, to really hold yourself accountable for the sort of um, mistakes you make as well. Being able to say, hey, you know what, I messed up, or hey, you know what, I got that wrong. This is what I'm going to do moving forward. I mean, 2023 has been that type of year for me personally. I just experienced a personal year 8, and the personal year 8 is a ruled by Saturn. So that energy mixed with all my Capricorn Aquarius energy really does point toward these things that I just mentioned. Okay, so let's explore some of these aspects. So Mars will sextile Saturn. Of course, Saturn will be the dispositor of Mars. So I think that's going to be a really supportive energy for many people. Okay, so this is really looking at longevity. This is looking at discipline and persistence, responsibility. Then Mars will also trine Jupiter throughout January. So this, I think, is quite hopeful energy, especially with Jupiter now being direct. The only planet that's retrograde until the 27th of January is Uranus. So yeah, I think Mars trine Jupiter can be really supportive, holding energy, especially with Jupiter being in Taurus. So I think that this is going to assist us, this energy, when it comes to opportunity. You were saying there about windows of opportunity. Well, Mars is going to help drive things home for us. So that's really positive. Now, the only thing is Mars will square Chiron and the North Node throughout. So, well, both of the nodes will square both of the nodes throughout. So I think that this may have us questioning just our integrity a little bit, or maybe challenging our integrity. I think with these aspects, just be cautious of, like, someone just sort of giving you the shortcut, right? Aries energy can tend to kind of go at things in the quickest, fastest way, but that doesn't mean that it's the best way. To Aries, it may seem like, oh, well, this is the best way because it's the fastest way. But what can happen sometimes when it comes to Aries is, there can be shortcuts that are made. And this can actually do more harm than good in the long run for Aries. It's really frustrating. Take it as someone who has their moon in Aries plus Mars in Capricorn, and they make a square to each other in my chart. Shortcuts, I just think it's a big no as far as Mars in Capricorn goes. So maybe just, like I said, just be cautious of, someone coming to you and going, oh, well, this is the quickest way to do it, or this is this is the fastest way that's going to ensure that you're going to be successful and you're going to be amazing. But it's also like, okay, maybe these things that are being presented are kind of true, but it's also being able to step back and go, is it worth it though? Maybe that's something that you really ask yourself this month. It's like, is it worth it? Right? Is this version of success that's being presented to me, is it worth it? And it could very well be, right? That's the other thing. It could be, especially with the North Node being in Aries too, because it's like, okay, well, there's something here about focusing on that point, right? where it's like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I feel called to do. But just, yeah, just ask yourself truly, is it aligned with something that you desire long term? And this is the thing as well, I just want to say about Capricorn, this is the sign of business, right? So you have to have a business mindset. I was watching this movie, I think it's called Nightcrawler, and in the movie it was saying about how, the business plan, like the purpose for why you're starting a business is just as important as why you're doing it, actually doing it, and taking action. So, maybe in this way, have a plan, right? Have a structure, have some sort of idea in this way. And now Mars will also trine Uranus, which I think can be beneficial because, this can help us with like standout energy. Uranus is very much the unique one. Uranus is standout energy, right? Uranus is the one where all the other planets are like, oh, I'm going left. And then Uranus goes, well, no, I'm going the other way. But there's a reason for that. I just want to say that there's typically a reason for that. It's not necessarily always the right reason or the best reason, but there's a reason, okay? So consider what your reasons are, consider what the rationale is behind, your goals this month and what you want to achieve this month. Just think it through, basically, with Mars and Capricorn, right? Really be mature. Try your best to be mature throughout. Hello, Tim. Welcome. Um, hello, Chris. Welcome. And good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope you find it to be helpful. Okay, so the new moon then in Capricorn is going to happen on the 11th of January. So this is especially why it's important to just keep in mind the previous slide with Mars and Capricorn. Okay. Um, so with the new moon happening in Capricorn, we're going to be setting intentions to do with these very areas. So we're going to be looking at long-term seeds, new beginnings tied to integrity and respect as well. I just want to say that self-respect. And then it's also about taking a mature approach. This is about success. This is about wanting to be successful. Capricorn wants to be successful. I just want to highlight that. Capricorn wants to be successful, right? And yes, Capricorn will endure many hardships, many limitations, many lessons, but there is still the desire to be successful, and there's still the desire to come out at the end on top, if you will. Now, I need to slow down. I'm gonna cough. I do apologize. I'll have some water. Okay. So, 20 degrees then this new moon will happen at. And so number 2 is the equivalent of this in numerology. So we're looking at grace, elegance, tact, diplomacy, pairing. Do you know what? This new moon could be really beneficial in pairing up, right? So maybe what is a useful tool to do during the new moon in Capricorn in the next 11 days or so is ask people. Ask people for their advice, ask people for their feedback. And no, I'm not suggesting that it's like, relying on other people, depending on them too much. Ask other people for their insight and their views, because I think they'll be able to tell you a thing or two that you're not seeing. We need others to act as sort of like mirrors in a way, or they can see things that we don't see. To look at our blind spots, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So other people could be very supportive during this new moon, around this new moon. Now, with that being said, there are the squares to the nodes. So kind of going back to what I was saying earlier with Mars making a square to the nodes too, I was talking about the Aries side of it, but maybe also the Libra side of it comes into play, where yes, it's like, just be careful of, like, that fine line between seeking feedback and using that constructive sort of criticism or that insight from other people versus, getting in our heads and worrying and thinking, oh my gosh, they see this in me, and I'm comparing myself now. Be careful of the comparison stuff with this. To be careful of the, oh my gosh, this person's on Instagram and they're so successful, and they have so much money, or people love them, and oh my gosh, like they're stunning, and yes, okay, we can admire other people, but it's whenever we start to like internalize all of that, and then we start to go, oh well, I must not be enough, and oh I've been working hard at this for years and years and years, and then this person comes along and now they're being all successful and I don't have that. And it's just this back and forth, about what people have and don't have. Just the superficial SH1T, just avoid it. Avoid it. You don't need it. Like, you really don't need it. Like, it can be so, so superficial, and try not to come from a place of just vanity. You don't know what other people are going through, or their background, or what they've done in order to present an image or a video. Like, social media, it's not real. It's not real. But yeah, just be cautious of intention setting based on the whole comparison game. Just be cautious of that, because you could invite things you don't actually want, right? That you don't actually want. North Node in Aries, and you don't even realize that you don't want it. You think you want it because you saw it online or whatever, but maybe it's not actually the right thing for you. And I think this is a big lesson that the North Node in Aries has been teaching a lot of us. It's like, what actually does align with you, right? You as an individual. Okay, so Jupiter will also trine Mars, and I'm gonna cough. Gonna cough. Oh, hello, creator. Welcome to you. So, like I said, Jupiter will trine Mars around this new moon, and then there'll be a sextile to Saturn. So, I think that sort of combination of aspects, I think, is going to be quite supportive and healthy for a lot of us. And I think a lot of it, especially with Saturn being in Pisces, this is about being able to bring it back to the spiritual. Okay. So, I was saying there about, oh, don't, the superficial, more sort of material stuff. I think Saturn and Pisces can be really supportive for us, because we can focus more on the spiritual and more on the emotional side of things, which will be welcomed and perhaps embraced around the new moon. So that's good. Now, Venus will also trine Chiron, and I'm pretty sure this will be Venus. Venus, my apologies. Venus will square Chiron, not trine Chiron. The day that the new moon takes place. I believe Venus will still be in Sagittarius at the time of the new moon. So yeah, with the square to Chiron, I'm pretty sure it'll be at the same degree. Let me just double check my information so I can give you accurate information. Oh, I do not want to cough. Yeah. Yeah. Venus 15 degrees, and then Chiron 15 degrees. So yeah, there will be a square. So like I said, I think that just further adds to what I was saying, because what can happen around the new moon is that like a lot of our fears come up to the surface, a lot of our insecurities come up to the surface. These insecurities are about like all the like bigger expansive Sagittarius stuff, where it's like bigger and better and larger and amazing and wow, but it's just like come on, there's a Capricorn stellium. Try and just focus on grounding ourselves during the new moon. And yes, okay, it can also highlight that maybe there's a part of it where it's, fear could very well be holding us back from the things that we do actually want and perhaps even deserve as well, right? And at the same time, maybe there will be a lot of these like insecurities that come up where it's like, am I worthy of earning this month much, or am I worthy of um being recognized within my field? Feelings of worthiness will, I think, come up. So just to provide a little bit of nuance to that and a little bit of balance as well. So Mercury will then enter Capricorn from the 13th of January to the 5th of February. So communicating maturely, thinking like a boss, thinking like adults as well, thinking in a more structured, reasonable, rational way, having a mature state of mind can support us here. And this is what we're going to find as Mercury does enter Capricorn. Though do consider how there was the retrograde, remember, from the 13th of December until the 23rd of December, whenever we reviewed um, these matters. So consider then what you have learned, what's came up for you. And then, like I was saying a moment ago, I said that I experienced my personal year 8, but you see 2024 is a collective year 8 for everybody. So it's going to be a Saturn ruled year, and it's quite fitting, isn't it, that it's going to be a Saturn ruled year, and we're opening up the year, with all of this Capricorn energy and this stellium, and it's so much about karma. So possibly many of us reaping what we sow, right? So it could be that, things that you've been building and working on over the past few years, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to come back. It's going to come back, and you're going to be rewarded, and amazing. Okay. But it's also about then thinking about how our actions have consequences, and even our thoughts have consequences as well, if you really think about it. So be cautious of the types of things that you're thinking about yourself, or how you may put yourself down, or just be cautious of any like super negative thinking, or um this limiting beliefs, or limiting opinions about yourself, etc. So yeah, because of course with the year 8, it's very much about karma, like I said. Now, throughout January, there's these aspects then being made between Mercury and other planets. So along the journey, Mercury will conjunct Mars, which I think will have many of us like really feeling inspired and driven. It's like, right, okay, this is the idea that I have, and I've thought maturely about it. I'm thinking like a boss, I'm thinking like a manager, I'm thinking like an adult here. And then you go, right, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. And then Mercury will also sextile Saturn. So I like this energy, because we're going from all of these squares between the planets in Sagittarius and then Saturn and Pisces. We're going from all those squares to now sextiles. So these sextiles between these Capricorn planets and then Saturn and Pisces. So I think a lot of this is actually pointing toward like us building toward our dreams. I think it's so much about bringing our imagination to life. I think it's also so much about, okay, doing so with integrity, doing so with good morals and good self-respect, and maybe even just pausing and going like, how willing am I to go that far, or to do that thing? Like, do I have what it takes? Um and just having this like this faith and this insight, and even being able to ask ourselves, what is it that's holding me back, and what do I fear the most, and how can I be courageous here? How can I, like I said, think like a boss? Now Mercury will also trine Jupiter, which I think will be very inspirational, definitely, especially if we consider how Jupiter is in Taurus, and this, so both earth signs, so really looking at what we want to build, and even I would say like how it is that we take care of our physical bodies, how it is that we take care of our health and our well-being, etc. I think these themes are going to come up. And I think a lot of this as well is tied to our creativity, our skills, our talents in this way, really building upon our talents. Like if you have a skill or a talent in mind and you really want to improve upon it, or you want to learn something new, my goodness, January is a great month to do that. I know for myself, I would love to take on yoga. I really want to join yoga classes, and I want to do that once I'm well, because I don't want to be standing in a yoga class coughing along, coughing up a lung. So yeah, I would love to try yoga, but think, what is it that you want to try? Any sort of hobbies or any skills that you have that you want to refine, that you want to improve? It's a great month to do this. And then Mercury trine Uranus is also this kind of thinking outside of the box energy with all of this too, right? And from thinking outside of the box, maybe there's something you didn't really consider before, and then that can even provide alternatives or opportunities or growth. And then Mercury square the nodes. Um, I think this further just highlights this whole, the temptation side of things that I was explaining earlier. Just think about the long haul. Think about the long haul. Try and not worry about like the instant gratification, the feedback in the moment that many of us may really want to seek. I know I've been feeling that a little bit lately, but it's like, okay, just keep going, like keep persisting, keep improving, and discipline yourself. This is Capricorn energy. Discipline yourself. Now, Aquarius season begins this month as well. So it begins from the 20th of January. So we're going to be going from climbing our mountain of success to making changes to the world. Okay. And we're going to be going from realistic to futuristic, from shining a light on our life purpose and our work to our communities, our teams. And then Sun and Pluto will be in Aquarius on the same day. There will be that Pluto Cazimi. Like I said, this is so much about reinventing ourselves. This, oh my gosh, I can't express enough. Sun with Pluto is going to be huge for so many people, especially if you're someone who has Aquarius placements around 0 to 10 degrees, about that. It's going to be really eye-opening, really awakening for so many Aquarians in this way. And then also just consider, if you have any planets in Leo between 0 to 10 degrees as well with the opposition, or squares, if you think about 0 to 10 degrees Taurus or 0 to 10 degrees Scorpio there. But really, what's a really interesting thing about the position of Pluto is that it's going to hover around this 0 degree mark. And then what's going to happen is like, it's going to be sort of like more players are going to be joining the team because Sun is going to then sort of be tagged in by Pluto, and then Mercury is going to be tagged in, Venus is going to be tagged in, so's Mars. So all these personal planets being like the key in this. And with them being personal planets, it's very much about the ways in which we communicate being Mercury, the ways in which we love or value being the ways in which we love, and then the things that we value being Venus, and then the ways in which we take action and how driven we are, how motivated we are being Mars. So there's big collective changes coming up throughout January, and there's other, wider, more like mundane collective things coming up too, which I'm not really going to get into for today, but just keep these things in mind. And then Sun will also square Jupiter. So this is something, right? Learn from last year. I cannot emphasize this enough, because last year Pluto entered Aquarius, and then there was the square between Pluto and Jupiter, and then there was also the opposition between Pluto and Mars. So there was this T square going on between the fixed signs. And I was definitely not prepared. I was not prepared, even though I'm an astrologer and I should be able to see these themes. And I was just like blown away, kind of thinking, what just happened? But this is why I'm saying learn from last year, because I think there was a lot of like anticipation, or um there was a, how do you say, a lot of high hopes, basically. High hopes with Pluto entering Aquarius last year. And then things were very limited and blocked, and um we've really had to be patient last year. And I'm just saying, with this one, with Sun square Jupiter, then just be cautious of like overcomplicating things, or trying to like do too much. Maybe Pluto entering Aquarius with the sun there too is sort of highlighting that there are collective changes, but just be open to elements of surprise and all of this, to the unexpected and all of this. I just think that this could also be the type of energy that says, okay, right, you think that you need to plan and plan and plan ahead, but perhaps there's going to be some alternatives that are going to come up that you haven't thought of yet. And just be ready for that, or be hopeful in that, perhaps, and just see, right? It's just like, see what happens. But yes, try and not, basically with Sun square Jupiter, try and not bite off more than you can chew. Try and not just get ahead of yourself too much. Too much. It's just like you're doing the most, okay? You're doing the most, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Maybe just like 60%. That's actually fine. That's fine. Your 60% is actually 100% in somebody else's eyes. Like, it's good. Okay, Saturn will also sextile Jupiter. Saturn, of course, being the dispositor of the sun during Aquarius season. So, oh, I was about to cough. So this right here is going to be beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful energy. Right? Because this is going to be grounded energy. This is going to be spiritual, grounded energy. You know what this energy is? Just let me say, this is the energy that says, I know my worth, okay? I don't need to prove myself to you. This is this energy, and we're here for it, okay? We are here for this. And it's about knowing our worth, and it's about inner security. It's about being able to know what our gifts and our skills and our talents are, and being compensated for those very things, because we're like, you know what? I've worked hard at this. I know this. I know what this is about. And I'm not going to fall into the tricks, or I'm not going to fall into the, oh, I need to prove myself because I am actually deeply insecure on the inside. This Saturn sextile Jupiter supportive energy is so much about knowing our worth, okay? And we're here for it. We're here for it. Okay, so Pluto will enter Aquarius as well. So, there's going to be a talk tomorrow about this, by the dark side of this energy. But looking here to the future of humanity, looking here to society in the underworld, the extremes that society are willing to go to, okay? Not saying that this is all just going to kick off as soon as Pluto does enter Aquarius. Then again, it could. I mean, there could be some intensities given the fact that Sun's going to join and then all these other planets are going to join. But then this is also about the collective unconscious. This is about exploring our shadow as a collective. And this is also about radical change and growth. The thing about Pluto is Pluto looks at destruction, it looks at chaos, and collapse, right? There is the collapse, the breaking down of things. And Pluto does not take, is that the term? Doesn't take any prisoners or something. But no, Pluto doesn't hold back, basically, all right? Pluto does not discriminate, okay? So there could very well be this like collapse. But the thing about Pluto as well is that whilst there's the collapse, the downfall, the crisis, the emergency points, there's also the power, okay? The regeneration, that phoenix energy rising from the ashes of what has been destroyed. And so this, I think, is going to point toward how, society is going to transform so much. Humanity is going to transform so much over the next 20 years or so. So Pluto will then enter Aquarius by the 20th of January and will be there till the 2nd of May. And then there will be the retrograde from the 2nd of May to the 1st of September. And then there will be the retrograde in Capricorn, 29 degrees from like September till November, which we'll talk more about at the time. But then by the 19th of November, that's it. Pluto's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So that I think that's when we're going to really see a lot of movement and a lot of change. Um, but again, I'll talk more about that closer to the time. So Venus will also enter Capricorn then from the 23rd of January until the 16th of February. So here we go. More supportive holding energy, practical energy. So this is about relationship, respect, and loyalty. This is about as well, the taking accountability, holding ourselves responsible for our actions and the choices that we make within our relationships too. And I also think that this is about the whole piece of like um you don't need to prove yourself in this way. And I know Capricorn energy in this way may feel like it does, but maybe this is really about, okay, no, your value, like the value of your hard work, the value of what you've put in, and looking at as well how this is about being sensible with regard to our financial decisions and maybe saving for a rainy day, right? Being able to save, being able to budget, being able to spend. um, but like I was saying earlier, like business mindset, business hat. Okay, wear your business hat this January. Wear your maturity hat. And actions speak louder than words with Venus and Capricorn, right? Venus and Capricorn, which by the way, I'm also going to be going through my Venus return. My Venus return. Um, which I like. I like this. I like them going to go through a Mars return, Venus return, and then in my solar return chart, I'm also going to have both Venus and Mars and Capricorn, which love to see it. But yes, when it comes to Venus and Capricorn, often it's the things that like people don't notice that Venus and Capricorn fills in for, you know. Venus and Capricorn may like provide or help out in very practical ways, but maybe those ways aren't often seen or valued so much. you know. Um, but to Venus and Capricorn, it's just like it's just second nature, you know. But yes, actions speak louder than words. Now, Venus will also sextile Saturn and then trine Jupiter. So we're noticing similar aspect patterns, right? And with Venus sextile Saturn, this is supportive energy. This is grounded energy. This is realistic energy, practical. And then with the trine to Jupiter in Taurus too, this is also then about, okay, um, these other planets have followed the path, and now Venus is coming along, and I see more clearly like what I value, types of opportunities I value, the type of skills I value. I notice my worth. Okay. This is like a big confidence boost. Is this energy. Confidence. This is about, like I said, knowing our worth. And this could be the type of glow up or upgrade we've been searching for. We've been waiting for a while. Okay. Full moon in Leo then will happen on the 25th of January. And this full moon, of course, it'll be at 5 degrees. So it's quite a flirty, fun full moon. I love new moons in Leos. I love full moons in Leos. I think that this is a good opportunity to have a spring in our step, okay? This is a good opportunity to do something spontaneous. Like I said, confidence. Okay, confidence. This adds to confidence. This is about vibrancy. This is about radiance. This is about our vitality and romantic clarity as well. Anything that you've been waiting for, anything that you've been wondering about when it comes to romance or love, there could be some sort of feedback or some sort of insight that comes. Childlike and fun rewards too. Play like rewards. This could be like a hobby that you really like to do, and you've been working on that hobby, practicing that hobby for many months or years, and it's like, oh my gosh, maybe someone notices, or oh my gosh, you finally learn how to do that melody on the guitar, and you're like, I'm awesome, I'm actually awesome, I did that. So there's that self-recognition. And then also, love makes the world go round. And this doesn't just have to be about like romantic relationships. This could also be where you actually feel really supported by friends, or loved and appreciated by friends. This is a good like love. Again, doesn't just have to be romantic. Okay. I feel like, oh, it's annoying that I have to say that all the time. I know what, I don't have to say that all the time, it's just in my head. But anyway, but still, love, love, I think, could be very well embraced, and we may feel just really good about ourselves around the full moon in Leo. This could also be a creativity release as well. So anything that you want to let go of, anything that's not serving you, it's a good opportunity for that. Sun will also conjunct Pluto and oppose Moon. So there could be some power struggles, power plays around the full moon as well. So just be cautious of that, I think. Addressing our shadow could very well come up, which can also be a good thing. Okay. When it comes to like clashes of opinion, or whenever we feel like we were having this standoff, the stubborn energy between Aquarius and Leo, this can also be so good because then we can learn, then we can change, then we can grow. It's through the uncomfortable spaces that we grow, you know. And then also Sun and Moon will square Jupiter. So maybe this is about saying, try and not make promises that you can't fulfill. But Venus will also sextile Saturn, so that can maybe help with this energy. And then Mars will also conjunct Mercury. So I think around the full moon, that could be quite a motivating and driven and encouraging day for many of us, or a few days. Now, Uranus will also then station to turn direct on the 27th of January, and that will be from 19 degrees. So look at your chart and see what's going on there. See what is going on. Of course, Uranus has been in Taurus for a good few years, and so there's been a lot of collective financial changes. Many. Yeah. And we're going to see more and more and more of this as things become more online, etc., over the next year or so. But to bring it back to the current retrograde, we are reviewing these matters, okay? We are revisiting these practical related matters. And we're wanting to really consider, okay, material uniqueness. How do I stand out here? Steadfast progressions, slow progress, right? Taurus energy, right? This to me is Taurus energy. Have you ever heard of the story, The Tortoise and the Hare? Have you heard of it? Right? The tortoise and the hare, they're in a race, okay? And the hare just sprints. Okay, this is Aries. Okay, the hare just sprints, and the tortoise is just slow, steady, slow, steady. I'll get there when I get there. And then the hare, what's the hare do? I'm pretty sure he uses up all of his energy, right? Uses up all of his energy, and then he just goes for a little nap. He's sleeping on a tree, by a tree. And then tortoise is coming along, just watching the hare. Oh, hi, hare. Oh, he's sleeping. Okay. Tortoise is still going. Tortoise is still going. And what happens? The tortoise wins. Okay. The tortoise wins. The tortoise gets to the finish line. The hare wakes up and it's like, oh flip, oh my gosh, I fell asleep. You missed out, hare. You tried to go too fast. This is what I was trying to say earlier. It's this sort of, just because something is fast doesn't mean it's the best option for us. And I think that this is a big lesson for January, especially, around this time of year. A lot of us just want to rush ahead and just go, right, I'm going to do all these goals and I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And then we friggin' burn ourselves out because you didn't plan it. You didn't plan, okay? You got too far ahead of yourself. And okay, I'm gonna cough again. I need to take water. But this energy says, no, 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 just slow down. In fact, Moon being in Virgo right now shows us that it is about the small changes. The little things that seem like nothing, okay? The little things that seem like, oh, it doesn't amount to much. Oh, not having that extra chocolate bar after dinner, oh, it doesn't really mean anything. Oh, well, it does if you have it every single day, you know, extra chocolate bar for a couple of years. Yeah, it's gonna add up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. So I think that this is going to be a good way for us to consider, right, well, a new approach maybe to success. Maybe there's the new approaches that we haven't thought of yet, right? What it doesn't just have to be one way, or we're kind of sold this message of like, work hard, work really, 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 really hard, and you'll be successful. Work like 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, you're gonna be successful. And it's just not freaking true. It's not true. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Yeah, technically that's true, but everybody's different. Everyone's different. Sorry, but you get my point. Okay, I'm kind of going off a little bit. I'm going off. So I think this Uranus direct energy is going to show us that, yeah, we'll be, many of us, even coming into the future, right? Uranus is about the future. We're going to be breaking the mold when it comes to money, when it comes to earnings, when it comes to success, when it comes to achievement, this type of stuff. Especially when we look here at how Uranus is going to trine Mars and Mercury in Capricorn around the time that it turns direct at the end of the month. But yeah, it's weird, it's like maybe less is more. Maybe less is more. And it can be hard to see it that way. And by the way, I'm talking to myself here. I'm talking to myself. I'm a total freaking hypocrite, because I have this idea in my head of like, I need to really, really push, 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 work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. And maybe things don't have to be so difficult. Maybe this is something Uranus direct can help us with. It's like, why do we have to make things so complicated and so difficult for ourselves? Maybe it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. Okay, so right, I'm just going to be 2 seconds and we're going to get into your horoscopes for the month. Thank you so much for watching so far, and I'll be right back. I have to do something really, really quickly. And I will mute this. Hello. Oh gosh. Okay. Hello, welcome. I just had a coughing fit, so that was fun. Uh, and what you're talking about is interesting because, yeah, at the same time, right, there's also that fine line of like just um slacking off, right? We also don't want to slack off either. There's nuance. There's nuance to what I was saying, right? Just remember that. And I am also of the belief that hard work often does pay off. It's not just black and white. I just want to say that. But yeah, just making that very clear. Okay. So let's get into your horoscopes, shall we? Okay, so Aries. Aries. So Mercury turns direct in your ninth house. So this good opportunity for you, Aries, to move forward then with like future aspirations. If there's any sort of further learning you want to do, any training programs you want to take on, etc. Moving forward, any traveling you want to do moving forward. Now, there's going to be a Capricorn stellium that's essentially going to gather in your 10th house this month. So there's a big focus for you, Aries, on your professional life, your career, recognition, status, what you're known for as well. Okay. What do you want to be known for? What do you want your reputation to be? Because this is going to be a month where these things are going to be highlighted. Now, with the new moon on the 11th, this is about, okay, setting new intentions then when it comes to these very things. Looking at long-term goals as well. Looking at success, what success means to you. Looking at hard work as well. I was talking about hard work. So yeah, what is it that you're willing to put in? What effort are you willing to put in? And then also with the full moon happening in Leo on the 25th of January, I think there's going to be a good release for you when it comes to your creativity, your hobbies, your passions, your interests, letting a few things go, okay? Letting a few things just sort of, that's it. You're done. You don't want to do a particular hobby anymore, or you're not interested in it so much, or maybe there's something about your romantic relationships that you would like to rekindle or look at further. And I also want to say with this that coming into Aquarius season, around the 20th of January, things are going to be shaken up for you when it comes to communities, teams, groups, right? Really, really looking at how things are going to change and be reshaped for you within these areas. So there could be great, growth for many Aries this month when it comes to these areas. And then, of course, Uranus will also turn direct in your second house. So Uranus turning direct in your second house looks at you moving forward at the end of the month when it comes to your resources, your belongings, your worth, your self-worth. Also looking at the lessons that have been coming up for you when it comes to your skills and talents as well. Okay, so Taurus. By the way, I'm just keeping these very, very brief. I am keeping these horoscopes very brief because I just feel like as well, it's very much to the point in this way, and it's so clear with all the Capricorn energy. There's just a lot of focus on that Capricorn house. So for Taurus, Mercury direct then in your eighth house. So looking at how you're going to be moving forward with your well, intimate relationships. What's come up for you when it comes to these bigger questions, bigger questions to do with intimacy, questions when it comes to shared resources and accounts, etc., debts, loans, these types of things, even looking at death as well, loss too. So yeah, I think you'll be moving forward with a new vision. And then also there will be this Capricorn stellium in your ninth house. So there's a lot to explore here for you, Taurus, with respect to further education, higher education, further learning, wanting to really build upon your skills in this way and mature, wanting to mature, wanting to grow a great deal when it comes to further training and just making those improvements. And also I would say with the new moon happening on the 11th of January, you're going to set new intentions when it comes to these very areas, right? You're going to consider, okay, well, what else would you like to build upon, or what other ways do you want to be successful when it comes to these areas? And there will also be the full moon in Leo in your fourth house, Taurus, on the 25th of January. So that full moon could very well look at you bringing things to so things are made clear. Things are a lot more clearer for you when it comes to your emotional security, when it comes to your needs, right? Your emotional needs, what it is that you need as well to feel safe and centered and settled, etc. I think there will be a lot of clarity here. And I think also such matters will be connected to your creativity, right? Taurus with Leo in the fourth house, like you are like a creative person internally. Let's just say that within you are super creative, and it actually shines. Like it really does shine. Maybe not in the ways that you notice or think, but it shines through. Now, with coming into Aquarius season, and then with Pluto entering Aquarius around the 20th, my gosh, so Taurus, this is going to be an interesting one for you, because I think that this transit is going to really impact like recognition and just how you're seen from the public. But this is about being seen as an innovator, right? This is about being seen as unique, as different, and coming up with your own strategies and your own way of doing things. So things are going to really change for you. So it can actually be quite exciting, I think. And then with Uranus also turning direct in your first house by the end of the month, this is going to be where this, if you think about Aquarius in the 10th and then Uranus, one of the rulers of your 10th, this Uranus energy is going to be electrifying, with it turning direct. It's going to be electrifying, and perhaps you're going to have greater visions or greater insight or rushes of excitement and enthusiasm. There's like a spark here coming up. And yeah, this, like I said, it could be quite exciting for many Taurus. So Gemini, right? So Gemini, Mercury direct in your seventh house. All right. So from around the first here until about the 13th, this is about you moving forward when it comes to collaborations, who you want to work with, right? Who do you want to team up with, partner with, in a professional way, perhaps, but also maybe in a friendship way, in a romantic way as well. There's perhaps something about travel, there's something about relocating, or there's something here about like a new vision or a new dream when it comes to relationships and partnerships. And then there will be this stellium. I'm going to cough. Hold on. I'm going to cough. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Gemini. Yeah, that's lovely. You know. You may be thinking to yourself, why, what, Hannah, if you're not well, why are you coming on here? And I'm like, because I really want to get these January horoscopes up. You know what I mean? I really do. It's the 1st of January and I don't want to leave it any longer. Okay. So like I was saying, there will be a stellium in your 8th house, Gemini. And I think with this stellium in your 8th house, this is going to be quite a big deal for, like shared accounts, shared resources. So this could be where, this is in a business way, right? Especially with Capricorn being there. There could be an emphasis on business investments as well, an emphasis there. Thinking about the long term when it comes to certain loans or debts that you're paying off. Also thinking about, karma, karma when it comes to intimacy and connection. I'm sorry, Gemini. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to hold back this call. On the 11th of January, there will be the new moon in Capricorn. So you're going to set new intentions when it comes to these matters, okay? When it comes to these areas. And it's thinking about the long haul, it's thinking about the long term. Okay, so there will also be a full moon in Leo in your 3rd house on the 25th of January. So I think this energy invites a release when it comes to education, learning, a release of some kind when it comes to childlike innocence and play within conversations. Okay. And uh, reaping rewards possibly as well when it comes to communication. But yeah, so that will be the full moon Leo. And then also Uranus will turn direct on the 27th. And that's going to be in your 12th house. So I think that this is going to be a good opportunity for you to reinvent yourself when it comes to your dreams, your spiritual practices, etc. Moving forward with, any sort of changes that came up, changes that you revisited within these areas over the past few months. And of course, Aquarius, with Aquarius season on the 20th, Pluto will also enter Aquarius in your 9th house. So I think that this is looking at big leaps in reinventing yourself, basically, when it comes to higher education, possibly mentoring, teaching, and publishing as well. We could find over the next like 20 years or so that a lot of Gemini are going to be um publishing like a lot of media, and really like going the extra mile when it comes to broadcasting, and putting themselves online essentially. Okay, so Cancer. um Alexander, you said you hate when you have to call. Yeah, it's so annoying. It is annoying. And Jeff, I just want to say thank you so much, by the way, earlier, for the tip. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. And I like how it says 1111 on it. Okay, breathe, Hannah. Breathe, Hannah. Right, so let's get through these. Okay, so we have here Cancer. Mercury will turn direct in your 6th house. So moving forward, actually, with like work opportunities, many Cancers, maybe you have like really went the extra mile at work, or you've been promoted in some way, or you're taking on extra hours at work, or um, maybe you're feeling more inspired about work, or maybe you're feeling more inspired about your health, or about like a travel opportunity via via work. So even looking at moving forward with coworker relationships, and maybe having a greater or a different vision when it comes to coworker relationships. So there will be this stellium gathering in your seventh house throughout January. So all of this Capricorn energy in your seventh is really pointing toward maturity and growth and responsibility within relationships and partnerships. This could even be where you enter into a new business partnership, or you try a different strategy, a different angle, or this could also be where, okay, I don't know. I This was a bad idea. This was a terrible idea coming on here whenever I am like this. Terrible, terrible, terrible idea. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of like backlash for this. Oh my gosh, terrible, just terrible. I hope I don't, but oh my goodness, it's my own fault. I chose to come on here. Okay, okay, so Cancer. Another thing I just want to say with the Capricorn energy, I think it's gonna look at so you focusing more on the long haul, right? The long haul when it comes to a business deal, for example, when it comes to an agreement, for example. But this is also an opportunity for you to really revisit your shadow, okay? Your shadow when it comes to success or status or recognition. And then we also notice the new moon in Capricorn on the 11th. So setting new intentions, setting new goals, planting new seeds when it comes to these very areas. And then the other thing I want to say with this is there will be the full moon in Leo. So that's going to be on the 25th of January in your second house. So we're noticing here releases, letting things go, epiphanies, realizations to do with your values, right? What your values are. Um, what is it that is important to you in life? What is it that's really meaningful to you in life? Really reevaluating these areas or taking another look at them. And especially through a lens of like pleasure and fun and enjoyment, etc. And then we also see how with Aquarius season, so Pluto will also enter Aquarius at that time. So big, like big transformations and changes coming up when it comes to sharing. Okay, so how it is that you share. And yes, this could be in a romantic relationship, but this could also be in more of a business way too. And then also these changes to do with like loans or debts or anything that you're paying off, and any money sorry, any money that you owe. But then it's also looking at the progress that you make. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, but I feel so bad. It feels so bad if I just stop now. I feel so like I don't wanna let people down. Oh, yeah. People are sort of being so, so nice. I just wouldn't be able to do January then, the horoscopes for January, and then I feel bad about that. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Oh, bye, Jeff. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, I don't know. It's just gonna be really annoying for everyone having to listen to me. I was doing so well for an hour and then I just anyway. So, um yeah, like I was saying for you Cancer, we're noticing then these transformations when it comes to investments and loans and shared resources, etc. Um and possibly having to like confront if your own shadows when it comes to these areas as well. And then we also notice how with Uranus direct, that's going to be in your 11th house from the 27th of January. And I think that this is going to invite like moving forward with your hopes and dreams, and maybe feeling a lot more settled or like a lot more satisfied and fulfilled too. When it comes to these areas, or reinventing yourself possibly as well when it comes to communities and teams you're a part of, and belonging as well, where you feel that you belong and where you feel quite valued in this way, by other people. um Amber, thank you. Yeah, some hot water with honey, yeah. Oh, I'm irritating my throat more by drinking cold water. Okay. Thank you. I'll have to get some hot water. I've been drinking so much lemon and honey over the past week, and oh, I'm just so sick of lemon. I'm so sick of it. But ginger I think is it's a good shot. I need to get some ginger. Ah, okay. So, Leo, right? So for you, Leo, we're noticing here. Okay, I can get through this. I can get through this. Leo, we're noticing here with Mercury direct in your 5th house, many Leos are moving forward with creative projects, hobbies, forms of enjoyment, forms of pleasure, etc. Moving forward when it comes to romantic relationships and how you're seen within romantic relationships, looking at pleasure as well when it comes to romance and love. And then we also notice how, with all the Capricorn energy, throughout January, many Leos, you're going to be focusing on work, right? Focusing even on refining your skills. The 6th house is so much about refining our skills, improving upon our skills. So I think for a lot of Leos, there's going to be a big focus on these things, focusing a lot on your services as well. So any services that you provide, making certain changes there too, considering the long haul, considering your maturity, your responsibility, your growth in this way. And then with the new moon happening in your 6th house around the 11th, this is about you setting new intentions, right? Planting new seeds when it comes to these very areas for you. And also, I would say, planting new seeds when it comes to your health and your wellness. So, with that being said, then the full moon is going to happen in your sign on the 25th of January. So, toward the end of the month, many Leos, I think you are going to really feel lit up and really inspired about a new way forward, about a new approach, a new path, new strategy, whatever. And then also looking at your aims and your goals and anything that you want to let go of there, anything that's not serving you there. But it's also about, how your aims and goals are typically linked to your creativity in some way, shape, or form. So that could actually be quite exciting for many Leos. And then we also notice how there will be the 7th house energy. So coming into Aquarius season on the 20th, Pluto will also enter the 7th. So with this, Leo, I think that many of you are going to be reconsidering, how it is that you involve yourself, include yourself, who you team up with, anything you haven't thought of yet, any type of person or any someone that you want to invite or whatever. It could be that there's a fresh outlook. And maybe it's about even facing potential things that like hold you back, or things that you don't maybe see within yourself that keep you at a distance a little bit or keep you detached a little bit. But there could be major changes coming up here for you, Leo. And then as well on the 27th, of January, so the very end of the month, there will be Uranus turning direct in your 10th house. So, really moving forward when it comes to success and achievement and accomplishment, especially, considering how such things are linked to your stability. They're linked to a steady income for you with Taurus there in the 10th house. And so, yeah, even looking at your values in this way. And also looking at your skills and your talents and how things could very well change in exciting and electrifying ways for you at the end of the month. Okay. Oh, peppermint. I like that as a suggestion. Thank you. Okay, so Virgo, right. So Virgo, we're noticing here with Mercury direct in your first house here at the beginning of the month. Okay, so moving forward here when it comes to like the conversations that you have with family members, or moving forward with new information that came up during the retrograde, maybe in relation to home, in relation to emotional security as well. Maybe there is something here, about your emotional needs or just taking care of yourself in general here, Virgo. Um, and being able to also consider like the bigger picture as well. I'm kind of reading this and I have a Virgo rising. I'm like, oh, okay, this sort of relates like right now. But yeah, so there will also be the Capricorn stellium, which will gather in your fifth house. So big focus here on your hobbies, right? Your creative projects. Big focus on the long term when it comes to relationships, especially romantic relationships. Also looking to the long haul when it comes to what you enjoy, what brings you pleasure, what's exciting, what feels good to you, Virgo. This is a big month of like what really does feel good to you, what lights you up, what gets you excited, etc. And then we notice here with the new moon in Capricorn on the 11th, you'll be setting new intentions when it comes to these very areas, planting new seeds when it comes to these areas. And then with the full moon happening in your 12th house on the 25th of January, I think this is a good opportunity to relax, to go within, contemplation, healing, okay? Looking at your spiritual practices as well behind the scenes. And yeah, considering then how you can let go a little bit, I think, here, Virgo. Like I said, going within. Now, there so coming into Aquarius season with Pluto in Aquarius on the 20th, with the sixth house activation, major shifts to do with health. Oh my gosh, who would have thought? Um, so yeah, it's like okay, I'm gonna kind of go off what's been coming up today. It's like, why is it, Virgo, that even whenever you're falling apart, or even whenever you're stressed, you still continue to like push too much, or you know and then you just make yourself even more sick or not very well, and then you're tired, and then you're run down. Okay, so maybe January is going to be a good month. It's going to help assure you that look after yourself, please, Virgo. Look after your health, okay? And also, this could be where you transform greatly when it comes to coworker relationships, like employees that you work with, etc. Really reinventing yourself, actually, not only when it comes to health, but also when it comes to your services, when it comes to your work, possibly even reinventing yourself with respect to exercise or diet, nutrition, this type of stuff. And then we also notice here with Uranus direct on the 27th, this will be in your ninth house. So yeah, moving forward when it comes to broadcasting, publishing, when it comes to sharing a wider message, etc. And possibly moving forward with like a new way of approaching long distance travel or saving for a trip, or there could be something quite exciting here upon the horizon when it comes to travel for many Virgos. Okay, so Libra, we notice here with Mercury direct, this is going to happen in your third house. So from the 1st of January until around about the 13th of January. This is about you moving forward with like any certain, discussions you really want to have with people, any conversations you want to have about your aspirations, about the bigger picture, about religion, perhaps your beliefs, perhaps. Maybe this is about how you want to really like go the extra mile, going the extra mile. When it comes to the things that you really desire and feeling inspired, actually, feeling inspired about the future in this way, or feeling quite hopeful and feeling quite positive, thinking positively. And then there will be this Capricorn stellium that's going to it's going to gather in your fourth house. So there's a big focus here for Libras this month on family, home, settling in, settling down, feeling comfortable, feeling safe, feeling like you belong. A lot of these things are going to come up for you, Libra. And perhaps these things are going to be tested in a lot of ways, or maybe it's about addressing a few hardships or a few lessons. But it's also about maturity, right? It's also about being responsible. And then we notice how with the new moon happening in your fourth house on the 11th, okay, yes, you will indeed plant new seeds, set new intentions when it comes to these very things. And with the full moon then in Leo on the 25th of January, this will be in your 11th house. So I think that this could be quite a social month as well for many Libras, or maybe it's about re-exploring your friendships and the types of friends that light you up and the types of friends that are there for you and who they cheer you on and they want to see you succeed and they want to see you be successful. And it's just really thinking about who you really want to be around, and who do you feel recognized by, who you feel seen by in a lot of ways. It's not just about being validated all the time, of course. I'm not trying to say that. But I just think that this is about how you truly feel, right? How you feel around certain people when you're with certain people. And possibly as well, looking at your hopes and your wishes here and how they relate to your creativity in some way, or how they relate to leadership in some way. So the full moon could bring up a lot of this stuff for you. And then we also notice with Aquarius season and then Pluto in Aquarius around the 20th, this will be in your fifth house. So this is an interesting one, of course, because Leo traditionally rules the fifth house. And then with this fifth house activation, I think this is going to look at how things are really going to change and shift and transform for you when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your passions and your interests and your hobbies. Maybe a lot of Libras this month are going to find something that really suits them or their style, or like a new method, or just something speaks to you. It sings, it sings to you. Okay. This could be something related to performance as well, performance, for example, or entertainment as another example. Okay, so we notice as well with Uranus direct then on the 27th. This is going to be in your eighth house. So many Libras, I think you're going to move forward with certain debts or loans that you're paying off, or moving forward with like an alternative view or another way of like doing things when it comes to intimacy, or even when it comes to investigation and research, when it comes to the taboo as well. There's some change, significant change up ahead to do with reinventing yourself. Healing nature girl, you say you can confirm that as a Virgo rising and stellium. Okay, so you can relate to what I was saying with the Virgo energy. Interesting. Don't know why, with Virgo, why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Okay, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, Mercury will turn direct in Sagittarius in your second house. So for many Scorpios, yeah, moving forward with, material views, or um a financial position, or a way of earning money, or a way of saving money. Or maybe this is about you having reassessed your wealth over the past few weeks, and then it's like, right, okay, I get it now and I'm ready to move forward, and these are my views now on this. um Or maybe this is also about you moving forward with views related to your self-worth, right? In this way, your self-worth and self-acceptance too. And that can be quite motivating and empowering for many Scorpios. Now, with the Capricorn stellium gathering in your third house, there's so much about how you are heard, how you're heard and how the message is received by other people, and being recognized for your voice, for your expertise, for the ways in which you form patterns and connections, being seen as like responsible, being seen as mature when it comes to communication, when it comes to education as well, and possibly even being recognized for teaching a new skill or for learning a new skill in this way. Leveling up, basically, right? And then with the new moon happening on the 11th of January in your third house, this is about setting new intentions. This is about planting new seeds then when it comes to these very things. And with Moon in Leo on the 25th of January in your 10th house, quite fitting, Capricorn traditionally rules the 10th house in astrology. So with this 10th house activation, my gosh, there's so much coming up here to do with status, recognition, success, achievement, accomplishment, and also thinking about leadership in this way. Okay, you being the authority. Scorpios love to be the authority. Scorpios love to be on top. Scorpios want to be on top. They want to be taken seriously. Okay. And I think that this is a full moon that is very much going to invite these qualities and these gifts, perhaps. You could even say it. It's like a gift. The Scorpio gift is being taken seriously by other people. Okay. Let's also think about how with Aquarius season, this will be in your fourth house then, coming into Aquarius season around the 20th of January. Pluto will re-enter your fourth house there too. So many Scorpios are gonna undergo like huge emotional transformations, from the inside out, this type of stuff. This is about your emotional needs changing in very radical ways. This is about family matters, home related matters as well, also transforming and changing. But yeah, like I said, we're sort of theme we've been going with is like this whole reinventing of the self in this way, reinventing your individuality, reinventing your ego as well when it comes to these areas. And then with Uranus direct, this is going to happen in your seventh house actually on the 27th of January. So toward the end of the month, moving forward, then when it comes to partnerships, relationships, collaborations, possibly even, entering into a partnership where it's like, okay, you're actually earning money from it. Or actually, you feel satisfied and you feel like, yeah, I am worthy here and I feel seen here and I feel supported here. But there's something here about um a major change, a major shift, and how you will move forward. Hi, Real Talk Tina. You said Scorpio rising, so I'm assuming you've just got here. Welcome. Um, just finished Scorpio, and I've been coughing pretty much most of the way through these horoscopes. It's terrible. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Right. So Sagittarius, let's move on to you. Sagittarius. All right. So Mercury direct in your first house. So moving forward, actually, when it comes to your aims, your goals, your aspirations, etc., this one can be quite like a really good release for a lot of Sagittarians, I think, where it's like, oh, I can finally freaking breathe, because I've been having to like revisit a lot of stuff, reevaluate a lot of stuff. And maybe this is about, okay, it's finally time to have that conversation, or it's finally time to make that decision. So windows of opportunity, Sagittarius, which you may really like. Okay, and then throughout January, there will be this Capricorn stellium in your second house. So there's going to be this like big focus upon what you want to build for the long haul, what you want to save, how you want to budget, how you want to spend, how you want to earn, all this money stuff. Big focuses on money here, and it's about maturity, it's about being responsible, it's about committing, right? Committing for the long haul. And then it's also, I think, about committing to yourself, committing to your worth as well, and possibly as well, wanting to rebuild and become like stronger when it comes to a skill or a talent that you have. Now, with the new moon happening on the 11th of January in Capricorn, you will set new intentions then when it comes to these very matters, right? And then what we notice here is that around the full moon in Leo on the 25th of January, this will happen in your ninth house. This one's quite fitting because you traditionally rule the ninth house within astrology. So this full moon is going to be particularly potent with the ninth house activation, because I think it's going to look at how you can level up, how you can sort of upgrade when it comes to teaching, mentoring, publishing, also looking at self exploration, further self exploration, and how, Sagittarius, you are always willing to learn new things about yourself. And there is a sense of like wanting to know more about why you do the things you do. And also coming across as like a creative teacher or as a fun, playful mentor to people. So there could be some releases, releases that come up when it comes to these matters around the full moon, and then also rewards and clarity too. Okay, so Aquarius season, then coming into Aquarius season with also Pluto and Aquarius. So this is going to be in your third house. So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Sagittarians, for you to really consider how it is that you deliver information, right? The message that you want to convey, the thing that you want to share, or what you want to share with other people. And maybe it's about getting back to basics a little bit, or maybe it's about reinventing yourself, or seeing like what is it about you that's quite unique. What is it about your views that stand out? How do your views stand out, and how are they unique in a way? And then this can actually help you, because it's like, oh well, nobody else is talking about it this way, but Sagittarius is. So there could be a good way to like transform in this respect. And then we also notice with Uranus direct, so that's going to happen in your sixth house. So I think coming toward the end of the month, it's like, right, okay, time to move forward with like a new approach, a new strategy regarding your schedules, your routines, your daily habits, your daily rituals, this type of stuff. And maybe things really do change for many Sagittarians, which maybe you welcome, right? You welcome that change in a lot of ways. And it doesn't have to be any like major changes in this way. It could just be like simple things, simple tweaks that you can make, so that you feel a lot more free or a lot more independent. So Capricorn, all right, Capricorn, this is your month, isn't it? Happy birthday, by the way, to Capricorns out there, all of you solar Capricorns. So we notice Capricorn, Mercury turns direct in your 12th house. So the start of the month from the 1st until the 13th of January, we are noticing how for you Capricorn, there's something quite spiritual about the realizations that come up. There's something quite healing as well. And I think also it's about exploring your inner vision or your inner explorer, or exploring your freedom, right? Yeah, what makes you feel free? How do you want to like set yourself free? And this doesn't just have to be physically, this could also be in a spiritual way, in an emotional way, in a mental way too, perhaps. So yeah, there could be um, major sort of changes for you, but this could also be a psychological thing, right? So a lot of Capricorn energy building in the first house for you, a lot to do with your aims, your long-term goals, the long haul, a lot to do with maturity, success, growth, being business minded, a lot to do with recognition, prestige, how you're seen, this type of stuff. Changes even when it comes to your aims and your goals in this way, and your aspirations. Changes as well when it comes to your physical appearance, when it comes to your health, your body, etc. And with the new moon happening in your first house on the 11th, of course, you will set new intentions, you'll plant new seeds when it comes to these very things. Then we also notice with the full moon in Leo on the 25th of January, this will be in your 8th house. So this one's quite a deep one, quite an introspective one for many Capricorns this month. I think the full moon in Leo can really force you to have to like look at your shadow, or to have to, look at anything that's demanding or quite domineering that maybe you don't see. Trying to maybe explore more of your shadow, basically. And then possibly as well reassessing your like debts or loans, or this could even be, when there's some sort of support that comes in for an investment or through other people's money that can be helpful, can be actually quite useful, and maybe that can um help you obtain something that you really long for, you really want. But yeah, the full moon Leo could perhaps look at releases and rewards and clarity in this way within these areas. And then we also notice with the Aquarius, so Aquarius season, Pluto and Aquarius as well will happen in your second house. So around the 20th of January, I think for many Capricorns, it's like it's going to be a good release, isn't it? Because Pluto has been in your sign for the past 15 years. Of course, it's going to move back into your sign from September until November again. But this is going to be a nice sort of like, release. And it's more about, okay, so how can you maybe reinvent yourself when it comes to, again, wealth stuff, right? Health related things, security related things, stability, but it's more about a new strategy. I think this is about, okay, I know my worth. I'm sick of this way of doing things. I'm no longer doing it this way. I'm going to learn from my mistakes right now. I'm going to learn from my failures. And that's what you do, Capricorn. You do it so well. You learn from your mistakes and your failures and your hardships, etc. You learn from them. And then that's why you're so successful, because it's about being able to pivot. It's about being able to kind of say, right, okay, I've been hitting this wall too much. It's time to stop this. Like, I need to grow up here. So this could be like a good change, and something that does help you feel a lot more worthy, and a lot more stable as well, from within. But then, of course, this could also radiate outwardly. This could also be an external process too, where you reinvent yourself when it comes to your skills, your talents, etc. And then we also notice here with Uranus direct, and that's going to happen in your fifth house, actually. So Uranus direct from the 27th of January. Yeah, moving forward, then when it comes to your creativity, your hobbies, pleasures, the things that bring you enjoyment, the things that you just enjoy doing, you really love doing them. And I think this is an interesting one for many Capricorns, because, Capricorn, you do like to obviously earn money from what you do. And often Capricorns will capitalize off like their hobbies and things like this. We notice this with Taurus in the fifth house. But I think Jupiter and both Uranus here in the fifth house has actually been teaching you a lot about what is genuinely enjoyable in this way. What really does speak to your heart, and what is the thing or many things that you could do every day. And it's like, I'm not going to tire of that. I'm not going to get bored of that. So yeah, there's just something about passion and excitement and greater like intrigue and vibrancy here with Uranus direct in your fifth house, Capricorn. It's like getting your spark back, right? Getting your oomph back, which you may be really glad for. Okay, so Aquarius, this is an interesting month for you. Of course, we're coming into your season. So let's firstly address how Mercury will turn direct in your 11th house. So the interesting thing about this is you traditionally rule the 11th house within astrology. So I think this is about you moving forward, like with group stuff, community stuff, realizing, oh my gosh, people, they're actually willing to stick around, or, people are nice, people are cheerful, people are positive. I mean, I have definitely felt this today. You've been so, so kind, everyone in the comment section. I've been absolutely coughing my chest, coughing my lungs up basically, and you've all been so, so nice. So thank you. But yeah, I mean, this could very well be this type of energy, right? Where it's like friends are there to support you, or the conversations with within groups and teams, they flow better, or you're feeling inspired, you're feeling more positive about friendships, you're feeling more positive about your hopes and wishes for the future, or about the teams that you're a part of, etc. And then with all that Capricorn energy being in your 12th house right before your season, well, this is actually a good opportunity for you to do a lot of reassessing behind the scenes. Okay, Aquarius, it's like take some time to look at the long term, to look at your goals, to think about, okay, what about the future? What about my plan A? What about my plan B? What about the structures here? What about the foundations here? Even looking at the structures and the foundations related to your spirituality. Okay, how much time are you setting aside to like really check in and to maybe meditate, maybe journal? I was saying earlier that I want to take on yoga, right? And that could be something that's going to be very healing for me personally. But as an Aquarius, consider this for yourself, right? Um, Maybe just a little bit of tender loving care, or maybe just some time to yourself, and just giving to yourself, being kind and loving to yourself behind the scenes, Aquarius. And especially because Pluto will enter your sign from around the 20th of January. So coming into your season, it's like, whoa, oh my gosh. Martin, you did say that in the comments. Massive changes. Yes, indeed. We are going to be noticing this for Aquarians. Massive changes are coming up for many Aquarians, especially if you have any placements in Aquarius at around 0 to 10 degrees or so. But we're seeing these shifts, okay, these transformations to do with your identity, to do with your physical appearance, your physical body, your health, your health. I'm like speaking to myself right now. But yes, and also looking at your life path. And this could be where many Aquarians are just like, sorted, I'm done with this, like I'm dropping it, I'm going down this direction. It could just be that much of a change, that much of a difference. And Aquarius, you are known for being like this. Aquarians are the type of ones who will be committed at something for years and years and years and years and years, do the same thing over and over and over and over, and then boom, like lightning, it just stops. There's a change, there's a shift, and you don't even have to think about it. There's something behind it. There's an intuition behind it, maybe not reason, maybe not logic behind it, but there's an intuition. But usually that does pay off in the long run, because then it's like, oh, I was meant to change that, right? I was meant to stop doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting especially different results. But still, that's the whole point I'm trying to get to is Aquarius, we're noticing how things could just unexpectedly shift for you, and it's just being open to the element of surprise. And maybe you know of this all too well. Okay, so also with the new moon then happening on the 11th of January, the spiritual stuff I was talking about a moment ago, the behind the scenes stuff, even the grinding stuff. Yes, Barton, you said how much grinding do you do, etc. All that stuff, setting new intentions, planting new seeds, but it's very much about maturity, growth, responsibility, the long haul. And we also notice with the full moon in Leo happening on the 25th of January, so that's going to be in your 7th house, actually. So we're noticing then these romantic rewards, or clarity when it comes to business partnerships, clarity when it comes to collaborations. It could also be you let something go when it comes to an agreement, or just being sort of mindful more so about what you agree to, etc. And thinking about the types of people that you pair up with and team up with, etc. So yeah, we're noticing then these significant changes coming up for you as the full moon happens in Leo in your 7th house. Of course, there's going to be more information about the full moon, new moon cycles closer to the time. I just want to clarify that. But then we also notice, lastly, with Uranus direct, there's going to be on the 27th of January, and that's going to be in your 4th house. So, of course, Uranus is one of your chart rulers. So I think for many Aquarians, especially toward the end of the year, there's just a lot, right? But toward the end of the year, it's more about, okay, right, home, security, Where do I feel safe? Where do I belong? There's so many themes to do with belonging here for Aquarius, and the type of community you're a part of, and the types of like family that you you're with, and who do you want to spend time with when it comes to your family, and what who and what do you value, even when it comes to family, looking at the family that you're born into, but also the type of family that you go on to have later on in life, or just moving forward when it comes to housing, property, this type of stuff. And also thinking about your emotional needs here and how comfortable you feel. And this just brings it back full circle. Martin, you were saying about how much grinding. This can also relate to grinding, right? um so yeah, moving forward when it comes to grounding and centering yourself in the present. And to answer your question, Martin, um, I, excuse me, don't, do not, I do not do as much grinding as I would like to do. Okay, not as much as I would like to do, but that could change, right? That could change. Okay, so whew, Pisces, we're on the last one. I've done so well. I feel like I've done so well, but I'll try and not jinx it. Okay, so Pisces, we notice how Mercury turns direct in your 10th house from the 1st until the 13th of January. So this looks like you really moving forward when it comes to any significant like aims you have about your career, looking at achievements and accomplishments related to your public presence, related to your reputation, looking at just further growth in this way, and even seeing how much you have inspired other people, or how much even other people have inspired you, and the type of message you want to convey even on a public forum, and just how it is that you really put yourself out there. So yeah, professional changes perhaps in this way, but also accomplishment changes, recognition changes. And then we see here with you Pisces that there is this stellium gathering in your 11th house throughout January. So big focuses here on the types of people you network with, and the types of clubs you're a part of, and the types of teams you're a part of and groups you're a part of, etc. But I think this is about being, sensible, showing integrity. This is about commitment. This is about follow through. This is about really being like a mature individual, I suppose, within the group, and being respected actually by other people within the group, being respected for your efforts and for how you come across. But again, I think it's a lot to do with integrity and responsibility too. And also with the new moon happening then on the 11th of January, setting new intentions, right? Planting new seeds when it comes to these very things. And then with the full moon happening in Leo in your 6th house on the 25th of January, okay, so you could very well release anything to do with, recognition or validation within the services you provide, or when it comes to the services you provide, or when it comes to the type of coworker relationships you have, or when it comes to work, etc. So there could be some significant things that you let go of, but there could also be some rewards that you reap when it comes to your health, when it comes to um, co-worker relationships, other people that you work with. Basically, there could be clarity there, or you could feel really like supported in this way by other people. Even deciding that there are things that you want to shift or change when it comes to your diet, your health regime, self-care, etc. And then we notice with Aquarius season around the 20th of January, there will be this 12th house activation happening for you, especially with Pluto there. So all the stuff that's been happening um for Aquarius over the past 15 years. Okay, so for Aquarius with Pluto in the 12th house, a lot of like major psychological changes have been happening for Aquarians over the past 15 years. Basically, you're up. Pisces, you're up. Okay. And so this could very well be that, yeah, you're going to reinvent yourself psychologically, spiritually, emotionally over the next 20 years or so. And I think a lot of this has to do with, okay, um, your individuality, your ego, perhaps, looking at anything that is to be dissolved or broken, or anything that's to just be let go of. Okay, what's not working, what's not serving you. Maybe you're used to this process all too much, Pisces, because this is you. Right? This is you. But yeah, and also I want to say that perhaps this is about just being extra tender, extra tender and kind and loving to yourself during this transit as well, especially with Pluto in your 12th house. Maybe even a good opportunity for you to really address any like addictive tendencies, anything that, maybe is a little bit too unhealthy. Just, yeah, any unnecessary dependencies there in this way. There could be a lot of healing there. Okay, and then lastly, I want to say here with Uranus direct, this is going to happen in your third house from the 27th of January. So you moving forward with like a practical view, a practical outlook, or how does it you learn something in practical ways. Maybe there's something you want to reinvent, or there's something that you have been revisiting, and then it's like, okay, I get that. I see that strategy, or I see how this way works really, really well. And then you can apply that, right? It's like the practical applications of what you've been learning, actually doing something about them. Okay, so that is all of the horoscopes. I made it. We made it. I just want to let you know about Patreon. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, I would love to have you over at Patreon. You can get daily forecast over there. There's behind the scenes information. There's actually 188 posts available over at Patreon, um, which you can get access to by joining. And there's PDF guides as well. All of it's happening at Patreon. And I do just want to ask you a question, actually. So, before I do, just want to say thank you for listening. You can book a reading with me, hannahselsewhere.com. I promise I will not be like, you know what I mean? I will be better. I will be better for your reading. I promise you. But you can book a reading over at hannahselsewhere.com. And if you did enjoy this presentation, amongst all the coughing, you can always buy me a coffee. The link is right there. And I do just have a question. So I'm really thinking of hosting certain webinars or events online. And is that something you'd be interested in? Is it something that you would pay for? Because, of course, they're going to be paid for webinars. I'm not going to say what the webinars are quite yet. I want that to be a surprise. But would you be interested in that? Is that something that you would pay for? I'm thinking maybe like $40, 35, 40, $45, round that like bracket, um, something like that. And I just think it would be really awesome, because the whole thing about it is that it would be quite interactive, and hopefully it would also be set up via Zoom or some sort of link. But I just wanted to get your feedback before. Martin, you said, well, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I'm supposed to be going live tomorrow. I might have to postpone tomorrow because I'm like, mm, like, supposed to be talking about the dark side of Aquarius tomorrow. So I might postpone that because I'm just not 100%. No. But thank you so much for listening. But yeah, is it something that you would be interested in? Let me know. You can always just comment in the comment section if you'd be interested in webinars. But more to come. But that is me. I'm going to get going. I'm going to make myself a nice warm cup of tea. And I know a lot of you have been saying that in the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being patient with me. Caroline, Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to you. And and I'm gonna get going. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna cough again. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week ahead. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for your patience again. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're like, all she's doing is flipping coughing every 2 seconds. What's wrong with her? I am sorry, okay? And give me some time to get the timestamps up. And take care of yourselves. If you're someone and you're not feeling very well, rest as well. Rest. That is what I'm going to do. Have a great week ahead, and thank you so much for being here. Take care, everyone. Bye. You're coughing